Okay, there we go. Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for being able to be here, being able to talk to you, because I'm actually here to ask for help, because we really, really need help to secure one of our most important raw materials for aquaculture in the Nordics, which is blue whiting. And we are about to lose it because we, as neighbors in the North Atlantic, Norway, Iceland, Faroe Islands, EU and UK, cannot seem to agree. And we are losing our credibility in the world as the best manager of the ocean. And I hope that, I know it's extremely hard, but if we pull together, I think we can manage it. And I will talk to you today to explain why is this so important for the salmon industry, that we are actually risking to say no to one of the best raw material we have, one of the best sustainable raw material we have, that we use the most of. Why will we say no to it if this fails? That's why I'm going to be here today. And it's about this, scarcity. And in my dialect from the west of Norway, we have the same word, the skort på ting. I mean, we have a lack of things. And this is what it is. We have a lack of the best raw materials that we have. And also, we see that the production of salmon in Norway and in Iceland is going to grow. And we're going to have a scarcity of production capacity. What you see here is that the dark green ones, that's the production in Norway. Then the lighter green on the top, that's the Icelandic production in sea. And then on top of that one, you have the land-based activity. And this is not a really kind of high-flying projection. This is a medium projection of how much we have. And this lilac or purple line you see here, which is a bit diffuse, that's production capacity. All of production capacity here in the North Atlantic. And why it's a bit diffuse is that production capacity, we don't kind of know, but that's kind of where we are. So we really, one thing is we need to secure production capacity, but we also need to secure raw materials. Where are we going to get these raw materials from? If Icelandic aquaculture is going to grow, what are you going to feed the fish with? And as a company, we are this year 125 years. And we would like to see that our company will survive in the next 100 years. But we also like to see our suppliers and our customers also become such an old company. And that's for us, sustainability for us is to secure things that we are scarcity of also in the future, so that we can also have things in the future. And to have a perspective of how much raw materials we need is that this silo you see here, this needs to be filled with raw materials. And the thing is, this silo here is the smallest factory we have in Norway. It's an enormous amount of raw materials that we need because we produce so much food, right? It's an extreme amount of foods. And a thing that we are really occupied about is the marine resources. First of all, I mean, that's the best raw material that we have. Making fish feed could be quite simple. Take white fish, just blend it, off you go. But what we saw that in the 1990s, when aquaculture in Norway started, the recipe we had, we mostly used wild fish. Blue is wild fish. If we would have to use the same recipe today, there wouldn't have been enough wild fish in the oceans to cover it. That's how much food we create. So we needed to change that recipe and find other alternatives. But still, so we find alternatives which the salmon can eat, which makes the salmon healthy. But fish meal, fish oil is really a fantastic material. And when you look at it now, we see that this is the amount of fish meal in our feed today, right? 12% from whole fish is fish meal. Half of that is blue whiting. Half is blue whiting. And we are willing to walk away if Norway, Iceland, Faroe Islands, the UK, and EU cannot agree on this. And why is it so important? Just take a look at what we can do with fish oil. This is a curve of death, of an illness, CMS, which is the illness that kills most salmon in Norway. Basically, it's an infection in the heart of the salmon, which makes the heart of the salmon burst. Normally, when you get this disease, you slaughter all salmon. There's no way out. Every salmon is going to die from it. What we saw here is that we were taking blood samples and we saw the disease started to increase of this disease. But instead of slaughtering here, we started with a special feed which contains lots and lots of fish oil, lots of omega-3, both EPA and DHA fatty acids. What we saw was that the salmon's heart sucked those omega-3 into it, and it helped the salmon to not die until the body of the salmon could fight this disease, and it survived. And you also see there's a small peak again later out in those weeks, and that was because this farmer had to move the salmon to a different location, and you just see how weak the salmon is. So it is a fantastic resource, which we really need to use with care, and especially when the fish is struggling. That's when we find it really. But the problem is here is that wherever you go, wherever in Europe, if they're talking about overfishing, salmon is to be blamed. We have become the poster boy for overfishing. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Take a look at the German newspaper over there, Spiegel. It says Chinese trawlers are fishing the coast of Africa empty for our Norwegian salmon. We don't buy from there, right? But it doesn't matter. It comes up and again and again and again that we are emptying the shores because of salmon. So what we can say to them every time is that, well, we only buy certified fish meal and certified fish oil from well-managed fisheries. That's the answer we always give. And I will just show you some clippings for the past thing. This was last week. There was an activist report being launched in France. Again, what they want us to stop eating salmon. That's what they want us to do. And you see that it's just that it's a pressure and don't do it. But the interesting thing is that, I'm not sure if it's large enough for you to see, but it says that to get 1 kilogram of farm salmon, you need 440 wild fish. Huh. How do you say that? Is that you can't grill the small ones, or what do you do, right? I mean, it has no basis. You saw that we use 12% fish meal. And they are combining this with all the overfishing in the world, creating the image that salmon is the main driver of all this. And the interesting thing is that these reports, which are activist reports, they just refer to each other. And you see here, the reference for saying that is another activist report, which also had errors in it. So this is how it goes on and on and on. And this was just last week. So this is the constant battle we are. And that consumers in Europe see and thinking, will we eat salmon or not? Will we do this? Are we then contributing to overfishing of the oceans, the destruction of our ocean? That's the idea that consumers out there have. And just quickly, I mean, a year ago, right, The Guardian says one of the top chefs in London not going to serve farmed salmon anymore. Well, why? Well, because we use so much antibiotics. We don't use antibiotics nearly. And also, there's overfishing, that's why. So you see these rumors, these myths, they are getting there. And carry on. New York Times, same thing, don't do it. Monterey Bay Aquarium, it's not only aquarium, but this is the #1 source in America for what kind of healthy seafood can you eat or not. And they're saying, do not eat Norwegian salmon unless it's been certified. This is also an interesting thing. In Sweden, we have been accused of fishing the Baltic Sea empty for the herring. I mean, they have this surströmming. I'm not sure if you've eaten it. Don't do it. But they don't have enough of herring to do this. And we are being blamed that we are the ones that do it. So restaurants in Stockholm, people are going around handing out leaflets saying, Norwegian salmon is ruining our traditional food. I think 1% of all the fish meal we got last year came from herring. No, sorry, of all the fishery of herring in the Baltic Sea, we used 1% of it. But we are being blamed for it. So that's why we only buy certified fish oil and fish meal. But why is it then so important for our customers? This is something called the Color Fair Protein Index. It's a bit complicated name, but basically it's an organization that gives advice to investors all over the world. And they have a report looking into the 100 largest protein producers of the world, the biggest beef companies, the biggest chicken companies, the biggest pork companies, and salmon companies, to evaluate whether they have a good sustainability strategy or not. Basically, what they are saying, if that you are company number 100 there, which is a Chinese pork company, I think, investing money in that, you will probably lose that money because they don't think that this company will survive regarding the policy they have. And take a look at who's on the top. It's North Atlantic salmon companies. And they would like to stay there. They're really proud of this. This is one of the main selling points. And it's not only greenhouse gas emissions, it's all these different areas where you have to score really, really high. And you see number 2, that's biodiversity. Again, are we sourcing in a way that we don't ruin the nature? And why is this so important? Well, is the economy stupid? It's the economy for the salmon companies. And these words were Bill Clinton's, that's why I take him there. But why is it so important? Green financing, you can get cheaper finance if you can show to the financial institutes and banks that you are working in a good way in sustainability. Movi, the world's largest producer of salmon, says that within next year, all the funding will be green. So they have to choose it. And DNB, the Norwegian bank, which is the biggest investment bank for salmon in the world, they are also really into doing this. And they will give you better financial terms if you can prove it. So that's one thing. Take a look at this picture. This is my local shop. Look at the prices for these different products, right? Salmon is incredibly expensive. It's insanely expensive. And people are still buying it. And when people are buying salmon, they expect more. I mean, if you buy minced meat from chicken, I mean, what do you expect? But this really has a high standard. And the interesting thing is also that will consumers pay more for sustainable products? The answer is yes. It's not only that they answered that in surveys, but McKinsey & Company, they looked into more than thousands and thousands of shops in the US, looked what they were selling. And what they found is that consumers will choose the products that have some kind of sustainability claim. And the interesting thing is that of all these different wares that were, it was seafood that has the most claims regarding environment, social, and governance. And that's also the product group which is increasing the most. Basically, selling seafood products in the US, you kind of have to have explain that it actually is sustainable. Take a look at this. French retailers, the largest supermarket in France, went together and they, with a NGO, and said, what should salmon feed be like? What they ended up with was decrease use of fish meal and fish oil. Use less, or at least let it be sustainable, right? That's the push all over the place that we see. So they're talking about this. And you have this EU taxonomy, which is the rules for how a European company can, if they're going to say they're green, what are the rules? And you see, there is one specific rule that goes to protection of water. That means a German concrete producer has to prove that that company doesn't do any harm to the oceans. That's how important it is now for consumers all over Europe to protect the oceans. This is the manager for Axfood, which is Sweden's second largest retailer. I was in a conference with her earlier this autumn, and she says, why can't just all your Norwegian salmon be certified? Because in Sweden, they would like to see all being certified. That's where they know that they can buy these products with a good conscience. In Norway, you don't find that demand for certifications. And I talked to one of the buyers from one of the really large retail in Norway, and he said, we don't want our products to be labeled certified because it increases cost, and we don't need it because in Norway, we trust the government to manage the oceans well. There's no need for it. We know that we do that. Yeah. What happens when word comes out of how we are doing with the coastal state negotiations with mackerel, herring, and blue whiting? Will the people of Norway still trust our government that we are doing good in managing it? So we are losing credibility here. So we were quite specific because there's this blue whiting fishing prune project that if it fails, we would stop buying it. It's not only us, it's Cargill and Biomar. We are the major producers of fish feed, of salmon feed in the world. We all say we will not buy it like that. We will find other places in the world to buy this. But it's not only us, it's also our customers, the salmon producers. The thing is that they have spent so much money investing in ASC certification for their products that if they would lose that, that would cost them more money than it is to pay more for fish meal from Peru or South Africa or other parts of the world. They're willing to take the cost because the cost of losing the certification is higher. And an interesting thing is Grieg Seafood. What they're saying is that if we don't manage to agree with these fisheries, the fishery as a supplier to salmon industry, you make yourself irrelevant because we will look for alternatives. We will look for other stuff. Yes, it's going to cost us more, but we need to do it. The prices are volatile, and if you can't secure us with certified productions and all the push we get in the market, we will look for other things. So it is kind of critical now that we can prove that, no, this is the best raw material. You can trust us. We will do it in a sustainable way, and we will make sure that we still are going to be the best managers of the world. But these things, the coastal states of the agreements, I'm not sure if you know this, but everyone agrees on the total quota of blue whiting and herring and mackerel. Well, there might be disagreements, but at least we agree on it. Then everybody goes home and says, I'm not going to need fish this much, I'm going to need this fish much, and they cannot, and they all overfish. And we haven't seen a total agreement for lots and lots of years. And in this month, the fishery improvement project we had for blue whiting, which made it possible for us to buy it, ended. And in the final hour, this fishery improvement project was extended with 2 more years. Marine Trust said that, okay, we see now the awesome push, the market is pushing, we're going to give you 2 years. Because this is a political problem. It has to be solved with politics. The market cannot solve it, but we can push it. I mean, the politicians are supposed to do what we want them to, right? We are the people here, and we also the market. And the problem is, again, that, yes, in 2005, there was an agreement of how to share it, and that was the last time there was an agreement. And this is now how it is. And I know that Norway says, we are the good guys because we don't fish more than we did. And the Faroes said that we are such a small economy, we need this. That's why we need to fish more. And Iceland has their own arguments. Yes, everybody has excellent arguments. But it never be solved when you just blame the neighbor and there's no movement in it. And that's where we need to push it. And this is our Prime Minister. He is the co-chair of the high-level panel for sustainable ocean economy. And he says that Norway is an international lead in ocean management. And we must work together with our partners to translate ambitions into actions. And this is how you do it? I mean, there are so much good stuff, but it doesn't manifest itself in these negotiations. And just another quick look at Norway. Norway has just started a mission, a society mission, which basically is that it's a huge thing that Norway's society is going to do to create new jobs, new things. And the first mission is about fish feed, actually. And what they are saying is that they would like to see all raw materials being sustainable, but also increase the production of Norwegian raw materials. Today, only 8% of the stuff we use is from Norway. And we have also gone together with the green sector to work to this. But the thing is, why with the Norwegian government? spend such more resources to increase Norwegian production of raw materials if we're losing the best we have that we are using already, the most sustainable thing? I mean, why? What's the point of all this? Let's make sure that we can secure the thing we have. And finally, marine ingredients, they're not only the best ingredients for the fish, but you also have the best traceability. I mean, it's just fantastic, all the information, the level of control the fishermen and the fish meal factories and fisher factories have. It's just fantastic. And we get all this information now, but we are seeing that we are actually losing the amount of MSC certified raw materials. It's going down and down and down. Main reason is that fisheries, which has up until now been certified, are losing it. And that's worrisome for us. And so I think we need to take this in over us. But the thing is, there's not a chance that you can get certified if you cannot agree with your neighbors of how much fish you can take out of the ocean. When everyone says, I'm going to have my piece of cake, and then in the end, the cake is not big enough. It is extremely difficult, yes, we know, but I'd like to look at Kennedy. I mean, what they did in the US in the 1960s, he said they're going to put a man on the moon. I mean, wow, what a mission. And he said that we're not going to do it because it's easy, we're going to do it because it's hard. And I think that's the same thing with the negotiations here. It's extremely hard, but I think we can do it. We have agreed before, and we as an industry must let our politicians know that this is really important for us, because we would really like to have you as a supplier for us also in the future, because you just have such a fantastic product. So that's why I'm here today, to ask you all for help so that we can get the coastal states to agree. And just final thing, I've heard that someone saying that, well, it's not a problem, because if you overfish 1 year, then the next year the scientific quotas will be adjusted to that. And also, there's so much fish, so what's the problem? That's a completely different question. That's a question of how big the quotas are going to be. What we are talking about here is certified or not. That's black and white. Black and white, folks. Either you get the stamp or you don't get the stamp. And our customers need that stamp in order to sell their products. So please go ahead and argue about the quotas and what it's going to be, but at least agree upon the share you're going to take. That's what we need to do. So thanks.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Does anyone know the Icelandic fishery minister? Please call him. Thanks.
Thank you for a very timely reminder of a serious situation, and we hope that all stakeholders will use these 2 years that we have to negotiate on the TAC. Next on the agenda is Johan Boreo from VitaBlend with protection fish meal with natural antioxidant.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for your patience. We had to sort out a couple of IT things. I'm very happy to be here today, and thanks for the invitation. My name is Johan Boreo. I'm the head of the global business unit for antioxidant for VitaBlend. VitaBlend is a Dutch company, part of Barents Group. And I will tell you more today about our antioxidant solutions for your application. What is about antioxidant in fish meal, fish oil, and what we try to achieve with our partner N1. So I did the presentation in Icelandic. So please, I do apologize in advance if there are some mistakes, but then I'm sure you will be able to capture everything about VitaBlend. So why antioxidants? So VitaBlend, everything we do is based on science. You will see that sometimes you might think, why do I use antioxidants? Why do I need antioxidants? Well, we are here to help you to understand that and to make sure that when you use our product, it's for the good sake of your end customer, for the quality of your product. And that's something we've been able to achieve during the last 25 years. Vitablen is a Dutch company based in Holland and having multiple sites. We have 3 factories today. Why do I say that? It's very important when you think about contingency, sustainability. What you want is to make sure that your antioxidant, what you think is very small, tiny in your business, but very important for your application and your end user. You don't want to have any issues of supply. So we can deliver from multi-site, from Holland, but also from USA, where we have our factory. And it's very important because not only you get the antioxidant, but also you get the technical support, the knowledge, the service, which is very important for you to understand how to use antioxidant and how to select, to choose the right product at the right cost. So this is what Vitablen has been able to achieve, to develop during the last 25 years we've been on the market. It's also important to be able to source locally, here in Iceland from Europe, to get the shortest chain of supply chain. So we talk about ESG, sustainability here, getting the product closely to you, to your market, to serve your customer with the right quality and the right product. What is important when we talk about antioxidant? We talk about protecting fats and oil. So this is exactly what you produce: fish meal, fish oil, containing polyunsaturated fatty acid, very potent to oxidation. Sometimes you might think, do I really need antioxidant? Well, what if you don't use antioxidant? That's something you might not want to test, because your customer, your end user, they want to make sure they get the best quality when we talk about stability. And here, Vitablen, you see where we are involved today. Fats and oils are everywhere. We talk about aquaculture, obviously, food, pet food, feed, customer care, fish oil, fish meal, PFAS, and also some technical application, rendering. It's everywhere. Antioxidants, natural or synthetic, are everywhere. When we look at your market, when we look at what you are doing in Iceland, you want the right antioxidant to protect the very specific product matrix you need to protect. And it's all about giving you the access to something which suits to your need, to your target. The right performance is important, the right cost. And that's something you need to be sure when you use our antioxidant. The regulatory environment, it is changing all the time. Etoxyquin has been banned, so you had to find another solution, another alternative, natural or synthetic, other than etoxyquin. So we are here to help, to guide you, and also to meet with your standards, because we talk about Europe, but even within Europe, you've got different standards. So I guess in Iceland, you also have your own standard. When you export, because you do export, it's a very important part of the Icelandic economy. So what you do, you want to make sure that when you sell your product to the market, you use the right quality, the right product. And that's something we're also here to support with our partner, to guide you again to use the right quality of antioxidant. And most importantly, providing you with an antioxidant is one thing, but proving you it works is the key. And this is what we are also able to support and to provide you with the service, the support, and the technical support. We will dig into that a little bit more. Then, if we look at how we work today, and this is the DNA and the essence of Vitablen, together with our partner N1. It's all about understanding your needs. So we use different type of active compounds. Most of you know tocopherols, rosemary extract, for instance, which are widely used in the industry today to protect your product. So our job is to make sure that we understand, what you are using, the matrix you are producing, and to provide you, using our laboratory, our technical team, to provide you with the right solutions at the right dosage. So we can make tailor-made antioxidants for your need, which suits to your need, taking into account your matrix, your process, your targets, and of course, the regulatory environment. This is what we do at VitalBlend together with our team to really help you and to discuss with your technical team to find the right product. How do we do that? Well, we have lots of equipment, lots of tools, and I'm sure some of you are also equipped with that. But this is basically the essence of what we do today. We talk about performance screening. And devil is in the details. Sometimes, again, as I said before, you might think, well, do I really need antioxidant? Or is the dosage I am applying in my process the right one? Because at the end of the day, for you, it's a cost. It's also value protecting your finished product. So we use all these equipments, Oxypress, Rancimat, GC, all geek stuff, expensive stuff, to really analyze properly what you can do, what you are doing. And we are receiving products, samples from our customers, something we would like to develop with you to increase the communication between our R&D departments to help you finding the right antioxidants and especially the right combination for your needs. So we talk about cost in use optimization. That's very important. It's not only the cost of the antioxidant you buy, but it's the cost of the protection in your finished application. And there is a big difference here. This is what we can achieve when we use different type of active compounds. We call that the synergy between the active compounds. So tocopherol with rosemary extract or with other active compounds. And this is where the value of VitalBlend is. It's all about working together and sharing information about what you need to achieve. And we do that in our laboratory. This is what we've done when etoxyquin has been banned. We have lots of work to do to convince companies like you to use this solution or this solution to make sure you can achieve your goals. And of course, we can make custom-made solutions. That's also important for you because your need will change in the future. The profile of the fat in the fish, the meals you produce is changing all the time. The needs will change. The regulatory environment is evolving all the time. So then you will need to adapt the solution and to adapt the antioxidants you are using. So we took a couple of examples of matrix we've analyzed with different type of antioxidant VitalBlend is producing using different technique. So it's based on science. We have a protocol. We set up the test, the equipment, and then we get results of stability of between the different antioxidants. So it's very simple on the paper. Again, experimentation. It's all about science. Comparing all these different formulation in that case, Atlantic herring, using natural or synthetic. And you see that we have some nice solutions today to really maintain the quality, the stability of the antioxidant. And you see that we have some nice natural solutions based on rosemary extract, tocopherol, for instance. Also the more traditional antioxidant based on BHA, propionate, or citric acid, which might change in the future because there are lots of challenges today. BHA might be banned in the future, something we are monitoring very closely. But you see here how we can deeply analyze the performances of different antioxidants in your product. And that's something we can really do specifically for you on your fish meal or oil you are producing. So we've done the job with this example with Atlantic herring or with another one, the blue whiting, which is very important in Iceland. So again, focusing on the natural one, what you are using today a lot, based on, again, tocopherol and rosemary extract. Also mentioning that the performances of synthetic antioxidants are also good, like our VitalBlend 2488 based on propionate BHA. But today, your requirement is mostly on natural. And this is the trend, in the market today. Everyone is going toward natural antioxidants. So what you see here is a nice picture of the different options we can provide you, depending again on your needs. You might want a Ferrari because you need super efficient, clean label antioxidant for a specific market. But in other case, you might just want a nice, solid four-wheel drive, cheaper, but also cost-effective. So that's something we can also provide you. The last example with Macro, what we do in our laboratory. So you see a different profile of results depending on the different type of antioxidant. So different ratio between tocopherol, lecithin, and rosemary extract here, together with some synthetic antioxidants. So you see good performance of our tocopate IPR, for instance, which is based on tocopherol, rosemary extract, and lecithin, and different type of performances of the tocopate RE1010, which has another ratio of active compounds. So it means here that the different solutions will also perform differently in the different type of matrix. That's very important to really focus on that. Depending on what you produce, you will need certainly another type of antioxidant at a different type of dosage. So if we summarize what we do today, and that's very important. So it's all about understanding what you need. And after 10 years being on supplying you together with our partner N1, we've been able to select some nice antioxidant system, tocopate family, for instance, or the TR10. They have been proven very efficient. But nothing is really set in stone. Things are changing, and the profile of the fish you are fishing will change, the fat profile. So we will always need to monitor the performances of the antioxidant in time, also depending on what you are doing. So that's something we want to pursue, we want to develop with you. Assessing, testing, monitoring, optimizing the functionality and the cost of the protection. That's something we want to do. We want to keep doing it in Iceland with you. The solution you need, we have it. It's just a matter of identifying exactly how to achieve that and how to test it and how to select it. What is also important, you might think, okay, well, that's great, VitaBlend, but you do the test. Well, we can also do tests outside of VitaBlend using external laboratories. Then you are sure that the tests are neutral, and that's also important in some cases. We can do blind tests to compare VitaBlend with any other type of antioxidant systems to make sure that you are convinced about the performance of our product on our systems. We are also constantly innovating. It's very important. We talk about natural active compounds. We talk about sustainability. The market is changing. 15 years ago, we were using etoxyquin. And I'm sure the next 5 to 10 years, some of the synthetic antioxidants we are still using today might be banned. So we need to be ahead of the game. And we need to have some other active compounds, other solutions ready for you. And this is what we are doing, testing different type of botanical extract, for instance. Also looking at multifunctional antioxidants. So that's something we want to offer you in the future. And also very important, VitaBlend is based in Holland, and it's all about partnership. It's all about being close to you when and where you produce your fish meal and fish oil. So when we talk about partner, we talk about N1, our partner in Iceland, providing you the local support, the local expertise, making sure you get the product in time when you need it, because your business is seasonal. And it's all about having the right setup between VitaBlend and our local partner here. So thank you very much for your attention. And perhaps you might have some questions.
Þá höldum við áfram og næst fáum umfjöllun sjálfbæra lofthreinsun með staðfestum árangri og Jimmy Larsen from Gimco.
So, now to something else. My name is Jimmy Larsen. I'm coming from Denmark. I'm representing Gimco. And thank you very much for the possibility to come and tell about our technologies here today. We are in the environmental business. When we are talking about fish meal, fish oil, we have to think about odor and wastewater. Today we will talk about odors. Now, the headquarters of Jimco is placed in Denmark. The company was founded back in 1992. The technology we are working with is based on nature's force. It means it is based on UVC and ozone technology. When I say nature force, the sun is creating wavelengths coming down to our surface. Some of those wavelengths are sterilizing our surface. Some of the wavelengths are creating some ozone in the environment to take care of the VOCs that we are sending out from the nature. It is what we have compacted down in some systems. We are working in the area of food factories, not only for fish meal and fish oil and rendering, but also for food factories, taking care of grease and oil from exhaust from industrial frying lines, very important. And we are also very active in the area of disinfection. We are doing disinfection systems without any use of chemicals, water, and manpower. It's another story. We will not talk about that today. We are exporting to more than 35 countries around the world. So we are a little bit everywhere. And 95% of our revenue is actually exported out of Denmark. Back in the beginning of this millennium, we had the luck that we got an EU award in the area of developing clean technology. Our philosophy in Jimco, it is we should not leave anything for the next generation, nothing bad at least. Good things, yes, but no bad things. We don't want to deposit garbage or other things for the next generation. On the map here, you will see where we are. When I'm saying fish meal and fish oil, it's naturally mainly Scandinavian and South America. We are pretty much in Chile. Some of our references are shown here, and maybe you will see that some of them is familiar to you. We are working with some of the biggest in the world when we talk about not only fish meal, fish oil, but also food production. So it's very important for us naturally to give our customers a good experience with our technologies. Now, when we talk about fish meal and fish oil, we are talking about odors. All of you, without any doubt, do know that fish meal production are smelling. And some of you will naturally have some complaints from neighbors. When we talk about complaints and we talk about odors, it can be a very nice odor, actually. It could be roasting of coffee. It smells good, doesn't it? But if you live in it, if you stay in it, it turns around to be a bad odor. It's very important to know that. Now, if you're frying onion in oil, it smells beautiful. But if you stay in it and you open the window, it comes into your house, you don't like it. It is how it is. In Europe, we have an odor law. In EU, we have an odor law. I don't know if Iceland is under the same law. Now we have a law in EU named BAT25. BAT25, here it's not allowed for fish meal and fish oil factories to have more than 3,500 odor units coming out of the chimney. It's a hard one. Well, if you have a thermal oxidizer, you can go above that, but it's sometimes not enough to have 99% of reduction. We will see that in a moment. We are working naturally not only in fish meal, fish oil. You see up here, aquafeed, fish oil rendering plants, also garbage, wastewater. Everything there's smelling rendering plants is pretty bad too, I have to say that. Now, what is the smelling components here? The smelling components, it is naturally ammonia. Ammonia is coming up if you have old products, old raw materials, then you will have some ammonia. In those situations, we need to work with some pH-regulated water in our technology. We need to take it out with a pH below 4. You probably are aware about that. Amines, they are smelling bad, very bad, much worse than hydrogen sulfide, actually. Amines, it is from fish meal, fish oil, fish production. That is a really bad one, and the non-condensable gases too. Now, the solutions for your productions, it is not really a chimney, because chimney is just a dilution. And in America, they say dilution, that is the solution, but we don't do that. We need to do something about it. We need to destruct our odors, and a bio or chemical scrubber could be one of the solutions. It's not the best solution, I have to say that. You will see when you start it up, you have fresh water in the system, you can have up to 50% of reduction, but after maybe 1 or 2 weeks, it is reduced to 30% or less. The water will start to have smell, to have odors inside. Now you are adding odor into your exhaust there. That's not good. Then we have biofilter. Biofilter, it is pretty good functioning if you feed it well. It's also not really a very big investment, unless the ground that you are using is very valuable, because it takes a lot of space. So if you are in a crowded area, like now we just had a Dutch guy on the stage. In Holland, they have not much space. In Denmark, we do not have a lot of space. It's not really a good idea to use a biofilter in that situation. Then we have photooxidation. It is what I'm doing. We are working with photolite oxidation. I will come back to the efficiency and how and why it is functioning later on. Then we have our thermal oxidizers. Thermal oxidizers, that is for sure functioning. There's no doubt about that. But here we have to think about the CO2 print that we are giving to our atmosphere. Now, everybody have heard about the big tornado or bad weather in Florida right now. And they say it's because of climate change. We have to think about that. We'll come back to that. Activated carbon is naturally also a solution, but here we are making an absorption and creating a product that we need to get rid of afterwards. We cannot do that, not in my point of view. Here we'll have a small movie if it is functioning.
For more than 20 years, Kimco has helped numerous industries with odor and air treatment. Efficient utilization of existing space and custom-made based on requirements. It is even possible to run Kimco units based on green energy. It has been documented that the technology works, and Kimco has even won the EU Environmental Award in the Cleaner Technology category. Kimco's technology is based on photolytic oxidation, which results in cold incineration of all organic material. It gives results with up to 99% reduction. The process leaves no harmful residues. UVC light will split the fat and grease particles, which make them more susceptible to ozone. The ozone will oxidize with the fragmented fat and grease particles. Photolytic oxidation will reduce pollution to the surroundings dramatically. Reliable 24/7 operation with minimal maintenance, as the machine has an integrated washing system, CIP. Kimco's equipment can handle complex airflows from all sectors of the facility. When it comes to residual products, Kimco is at the forefront of the fight against pollution. Our system ensures that no odors or harmful substances escape. And with real-time monitoring from a dedicated cloud system, it is possible to follow the process continuously and retrieve historical data. The system can even be remotely monitored from any position worldwide. Kimco Sustainable Systems for a clean future.
Now, when we are doing our cloud system, We have had some questions from some municipalities, government people. They want to follow the system, how it is running, is it serviced, why they want that, especially in South America, to be honest. Why they want that is because they have had a lot of trouble with the neighbors or with the society around the factory, and they don't want to start up all that noise again. So they want to have direct access, but naturally it's you as the producer who is giving the access to the people if you want to. If you are a company who have more companies in one concern, it's important that you can sit in your main office and follow that all your factories is running well, and follow, did they service the unit? Did it wash last night? Did it this and this? You can follow everything and data log and go back in history. That is very important. Now, the system is very simple said. It's a cold burning process. What is happening is more or less the same as in a thermal oxidizer. It's just cold. We don't have any fossil things to burn the pollution here. What happens here it is the air is leaded over UVC lamps. The UVC lamps has special wavelength. Those wavelengths, they are splitting up the molecules in the airstream. I always combine it with, if you have a piece of wood, you try to fire it up, it can be pretty hard job to do that. But if you slice it in small pieces, now you're creating a product that's pretty easy to fire up. It is what we are doing. The lamps are demolishing the molecules in the airstream. The same lamps are converting the 20% of oxygen available in the atmosphere air, in the exhaust air, into O3. O3 is an oxidizer. Here we are doing the oxidation process. Now, from the unit we have on the picture here as example, from the unit to the exhaust, to the end of the chimney, we need to have at least 3 seconds of reaction time. Now, after those 3 seconds, the air is purified. Depending on how many units or how many tools we have in our system here, we go above 99% in reduction of odors. I don't have to tell you about all those lines that we have here, but naturally it's very important to know that it is a compact system. We can install it everywhere. It could be inside in your facility on a mezzanine floor. It could be outside on the roof. It could be beside a building. Depending on where do you have the space, we can do that. All what we're doing here is naturally tested and very reliable. We are always working with, you can say, the environmental people from the government. It's important that we have, you can say, the legislation from the local government, so that we know that we are below the amount of odors which is allowed to have to the nearest neighbor. In Denmark and Northern Europe, it's normally around 5 odor units to the nearest neighbor. Now, if you're using a thermal oxidizer, you are doing probably around 98, sometimes 99% of reduction. But 98 or 99% of reduction is not necessarily enough. When I say that, it's because it's pretty normal that you have 1.5 million odor units or more. If you just say 1 million, you still have 10,000 odor units left. You can imagine how much that is filling up the environment around the facility. It's a lot. So it's not necessarily enough with 99% of reduction. We are doing OML calculations. We know exactly how much odor units do we have when we have made the analysis, and we are doing the calculation on that. We have an OML spreading calculation program developed together with the Danish Environmental Ministry, where we can calculate exactly how many odor units do you have 200 meters away from your facility, maybe in 360 degrees, whatever. We can make a calculation the whole way around your facility to ensure that you do not have any trouble with your neighbors after installation. Our technology is functioning best below 50 degrees Celsius in the exhaust air. And that means that we sometimes will need to cool down the airstream. It is one thing that we need to take care of. Sometimes we can reuse the heat for something else in the facility by heat exchange the exhaust air and save money that way around. Sometimes we need to add a system that we have into the system to make sure that the ammonia is taken out. We have developed a special mist system where we are spraying very fine water steam into the airstream, where we are pH regulating the water. It's a very efficient way to get rid of the ammonia. When we talk about implementing an air purification system, there's a lot of things to be aware of. I don't want to mention all of them. You can see it here, and I'm sure that the presentation can be shared with all of you if you want to have it. But it's very important, naturally, that we know how many cubic meter, how warm is the exhaust air, what is the humidity, what is the highest chimney that is allowed to have overground in the area where your facility is placed. There's a lot of things, but we do have a questionnaire that we will ask you to fill in to make it possible for us very easy to make a preliminary quotation for you, so you can see what is involved here. We made a test on a rendering plant with our new mist system. What is important to see here, actually, in the box above, you will see ammonia. When we started, we had 150 ppm of ammonia. Just after the in-spraying of this pH-regulated water, we was down to 20. It was like this pretty fast, and we don't have a lot of wastewater. This is so much better than a scrubber system, just for information. We also see that H2S is reduced pretty much also with the mist system. I didn't expect that, but it means we are pre-treating the air before we treat it in our system. That is the perfect way to do it. And here we are using approximately 8 liters of water per 1,000 cubic meter of air. It's not much. It's pretty low amount that we're talking about here. Now, when we go down to the bottom line, you will see that in total we have here 98.92% of reduction, and the starting point is actually 2.366 million odor units. It's a pretty high number, to be honest. So we was pretty satisfied with that. Our cloud system, you already heard about that on the movie. Like I said, more and more government around the world, they want to have a system where we are data logging the system, so you can see how it is running out there. Also backwards, because if they are getting complaints from neighbors, they will have to ask you, is it running well? Or they just log in themselves and see it is running well, or there was maintenance on the system, so you had to close it down or something else. Now, when we are talking about sustainability and we are talking about green and all that, we just made a little comparison with a thermal oxidizer versus photolite oxidation here. Now, the green area, it is our UV technology, and the gray, dark gray is the thermal oxidizer. What you will see here, the investment cost is approximately the half. The total cost for our system for a plant for 30,000 cubic meter of air, it will be 416,000. It's above 850,000 euro for a thermal oxidizer. When you continue down, you will see that our total running cost, it's 182,000 per year. A thermal oxidizer, we are at 540,000. It is more than the investment cost for a GIMCO system. It's a lot in my point of view. It's a lot of pretty many percentage of your turnover, I would say. In the end, we have our CO2. We talked about that earlier. The CO2 print from a Jimco plant, it is 65,000 kilo of CO2 per year. In a terminal oxidizer, it's above 1 million. Can you see it? That is what you have to think about when you're doing your CO2 calculations. It's a very important one. In fact, the total savings per year, it'll be 461,000 euro. After 2030, we have full tax on CO2. I expect it's the same for you guys. In the end here, I have some installations made. Here we have Landes in Chile. Landes, they have invested 2 times in Jimco. First time in 15 and next time in 18. They are discussing now again that they need more equipment. It's good when they are returning our customers. Austral Fjordo, I don't know if you're familiar with those guys. It's also fish meal. Here we just have a simple flow-K system on. We don't need to have catalyst or water mister on the units here. It's always a question about how many percentage do we need to reduce your odors, and we will calculate that for you. Do you need all tools, or do you just need one tool to get rid of your odors or to reduce enough? And we have a movie again. Does that look familiar? Smells pretty good after 1 week, I can tell you. As you can see, it's pretty compact. It can be placed inside and naturally also outside. Here we are treating around, I think it's around 25,000 cubic meter per hour. Here we also take the odors coming from the wastewater plant, from the DAF system. It was what I had. Any questions?
Næst á dagskráni þá fish fat, new product to increase oil yield in fish meal. Jani.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to come and present some new, let's say, innovations from Adcon. Some of you may remember I was in front of you also last year. At that time, I was talking more about acids and R&D work done after the ban of etoxyquin, etc. So since that, something at least has happened. I'm a salesperson, which means I'm impatient. I, of course, would like to have faster proceeding in everything, but something has happened. We have taken some exciting steps. This time I will talk about 2 topics in my presentation. The first one is Adcon fish fat, which is developed to increase your oil yield, meaning that I think all of you know the price difference between oil and meal and how significant it nowadays is. You for sure know the daily situation much better than I do, but the idea indeed has come from the industry that we would like to get more oil. So this tries to be an answer to that. The second part of my presentation will then be the natural antioxidant, fully natural antioxidant, which I think I said something about, but a year ago. But at that time we didn't have anything to really show about it. So going to this product, Atcom fish fat, I will show you a very simple calculation I have got. When I was last time here in Iceland, about half a year ago, I got some price information. I'm sure it's not anymore fully valid, but you know at least as long as oil is more expensive than meal, the basics of the calculation will be valid. So you can do your own comparisons then afterwards. But these are from capelin, and the yield, I was told you get 190 kilos of fish meal from 1 ton of capelin, and you get 100 kilos of oil from the same. And the prices, at least at that time, were like 1,800 euros per ton. Fish oil was 4,500 euros per ton. So of course the question, who wouldn't like to produce more oil to optimize the income? Total value 792 euros in this calculation. And then of course, when I'm talking about the product, it's not for free. I have used here an example price, 2.8 euros per kilo. And the dosage, I think it was already on the previous slide, 0.5 to 1 kilo per ton to be added to the material. So in total, you need to get a little bit more than 792 to cover the cost. Then, of course, I know you already use some other acid. This is not at all deducted from this calculation. So going to the profitability and the results, the content of the meal part is that there is still 10% of oil remaining in the meal. It's not always the same. It's not the same in different fish species, but there is always some leftovers of oil there. And what we want to do, and what we have found out, that we can do something to this. That we know there is still 19 kilos of oil remaining in the meal part. And what we have done small scale tests, which are convincing us that we are on the right way. We have done also product for a big scale test. We have delivered it to Sildervinnsland, but unfortunately it's not yet tested. I've been told that it will be done later this year. So after that, we have like a big scale experience to tell about. So until that, I'm talking now about results which we have got in small scale. If someone, as I told, I'm a salesman, so if someone wants to do a trial with this, it's possible to all of you. So we were producing this product in batches, 5,000 liters. So at least 4 IBCs is a minimum order. But I said it's possible to get. The target, as said, is to increase oil quantity by squeezing out more from the remains in the oil. This is the situation. I made a very simple table. This is the situation before adding the product, which is supposed to reduce oil from the meal. And it's realistic according to our trials to talk about 1% that we are releasing more oil, that the remaining would be 9% instead of 10 in example, as in this calculation, which means the value of meal when it's reduced is going down, but at the same time the value of oil yield is increasing. And if we with these prices, with 1% reduction, we can calculate €5 more per each ton of capelin, which all does not come to you. As I said earlier, you need to invest a little bit there. But this shows then that if you manage to squeeze out 0.6% from the original, then you have 1 kilo more oil, 1.1 kilo more oil, which is valued then €3, or the bigger earning is then €3. So then the cost is covered. So this looks like very promising, and I hope it can lead to something very interesting. I'm looking if there are like questions or something like coming already, but at least no one is sleeping, which is also very good. Thank you for that. The product itself, I know you are very used to have acids in your production, so it's in that way nothing really special, nothing really new. It's just a new combination of acids. This is built of propionic acid, potassium diformate, which is indeed quite a unique molecule produced in Norway at Datcon. It's used also in many other purposes in the feed industry. Formic acid, and then some pure distilled fatty materials, which are very usual in feed industry. So that's about this product. So as said, 1% less oil, less oil remaining in meal seems to be very realistic, but still waiting for big scale trials. Then the other part of my presentation is the antioxidant, which I touched last year. At that time, we didn't have any results, but it was more like on the desk to do. And it's called Atcon AOX RTF. Of course, rosemary, tocopherols, and fatty acids. We do now have test results from both Norway and Iceland. We have results from both oil and meal. And I will show you first something from the oil part. Nordlaks is a Norwegian company from salmon company from Stokmarknes, Lofoten. And it's beside it wall to wall with Skretting, right? Yes, you know that well. Yeah. And they are producing oil from their byproducts. And then when a batch or their tank is full, they are then analyzing it and then pumping over to the neighbor. Is that fully correct? More or less. Good. Happy about that, yes. So the production manager there has done some trials. I will show you. I was hiding the product which against he was comparing. I call it positive control. So these are now maybe easier. I had cut it in parts. This is now the positive control, and here he had put those parameters which they are analyzing, or at least which he felt was interesting. FFA, anisotine peroxide, Totox, average numbers from 23, 24. Very good numbers. And then he did use our product now during the spring, in March, April mainly, and had two different dosages, 300 ppm, 350 ppm, and then gave us these numbers which they got then from the analysis. So as said, I'm not the scientist, but for myself, this looks like our product is working at least as well as the previous product they used. So seems to be good. Then we also have done some trials here in Iceland. Not some, but two. Sildarvinnslan has sent samples in March of blue whiting. I think the catch and the meal was produced in January. In this case, we can call samples 1 and 2 like a positive control. I don't know what the product was, and the samples 3, 4, 5, and 6 are then treated with our product. Small numerical differences, both are delivering good results. Again, I for myself looks like both are working very well. So again, as said, positive control number 1 and our product 3 to 6. And this was the blue whiting from previous last winter. Then second trial, this was mackerel, and now these results are very new. You hopefully see at least the date, September 25th received, and analysis completed September 26th. And here we got, it's maybe better to show in this way, cut a bit from the table. So you can see quite a big variation in between different samples, and when so few samples, you really can't make any scientific thing of these, but again, I would say that our product seems to deliver good results, and maybe in a more narrow variation. Of course, we don't know that much about the samples. Here they are. The results are then by after you said you would have a look a bit more deeper in the materials, etc. But according to these results, again, I would say looks like the product works at least as well as competing product. Okay, looks like I was running too fast, but that was the content I had, and I would like to try to answer if you have questions. If not, I accept that as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Næst ætlar að koma frá Unitpump, Jesper, og kynna New Generation. Gjör svo vel.
Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for taking your time to listen to me just very briefly. I will do it short. I think everybody need a cup of coffee soon. But this is just the intention to give a short introduction about a merge that has been between Unitpump, which many of you might know, into where I come from, OEM Automatic Klitsø. And since it's my first time here at this conference, just briefly to introduce myself, my name is Jesper Kallehauge, 37 years old, recently appointed business area manager for our pump group in OEM Klitsø, where I have been for the past 3 years, and previously I have worked 17 years approximately with in the valve industry. So OEM Automatic Klitsø, we are the Danish subsidiary of the larger OEM Automatic Group, which is Swedish owned. And we are one of Europe's leading suppliers of industrial instrumentation. We work with many leading manufacturers, mainly around Europe. And this makes the benefit for our customers that they can have a one-stop supplier for many kind of components, whatever you need. In Denmark, we are 31 employees, have almost 1,300 buying customers, and we work with approximately 85 or 90 of what we call focus manufacturers and suppliers to us. And every year we do almost 1,500 customer visits. As mentioned, we're part of a bigger group with subsidiaries mainly in the northern part of Europe, also a little bit in the eastern part. We are not focusing on the central part of Europe, and this is basically because our suppliers, they are coming from there, so they have other sources there to go into the market. In total, the group has a turnover of approximately 200 million euros, 460 employees, whereof 110 is product specialists. So we have product specialists specializing in each of their own product group. As mentioned, Swedish-owned, main office in Tranås in Sweden. And if we look at Denmark, where we are located, then we have our main office in Allerød, in northern part of Zealand. And then we have a small sales office in Aarhus, where I am also located. The reason I'm here is that actually Mr. Torben Petersen, the owner of Unit Pump, he decided after 33 years of ownership that it was time to retire. Torben turned 80 years old in the summer, so I think it's fair to say that he's done his duty in his work life. And this has meant that since November last year, almost a year ago, Unit Pump was merged with OEM Automatic Klitsø. And during this last year, we have made a shift in generation. Looking at the geographics, it was very lucky that Unit Pump and OEM was actually placed very close to each other, only 19 kilometers apart in a straight line. So it was fairly easy to move all the activities, employees, warehouse, everything from Kvistgaard, where Unit Pump was, down to Allerød, where we have our main office in OEM. So our group now, focusing on pumps, our pump group, consists of the two girls on the right, former employees of Unit Pump. The first one, Dorte, she had been in Unit Pump for 25 years and have an extensive knowledge about all of you customers, the suppliers, the products and everything. So this is really valuable for us to have her joining the group as well. Linette as well, I think it's about 10 years she has been in Unit Pump, internal sales, mainly handling spare parts for pumps. Then we have Frederik, who is our sales engineer, currently the only one in Denmark, but we are starting the process also to hire a new colleague for him. Torben is still there. Torben has been part of the group for the last 1 year, as mentioned, slowly going down in time to prepare for his retirement. He's there for the rest of this month, and after that he is formally retired, but still available for us to call as a consultant, because he has, of course, many, many years of knowledge with the important thing, the customers and all the projects he has been working with. So this is valuable to us that we can call him whenever it might be needed. Yeah, and lastly, myself as business area manager for the group. But basically what I want to say is that business as usual, just now working under OEM. We are working with the same manufacturers and suppliers as Unit Pump has done before. So all of our well-known pumping brands are still available, and of course, for new pumps, spare parts and everything. But now that Unit Pump has been integrated with a bigger company, we can of course also help with our other services, as we have a very broad product portfolio. So besides from pumps, we have a pressure and flow department. We have a process department, which is mainly for food and pharma industry, so all those products which require special certification. Electronics, panel components, sensors, safety equipment for facilities, IoT, batteries, motor and transmission. So a very broad package that we might be able to help you with. Of course, the easy way for you is to find whatever we can offer in our webpage, oemklitso.dk. So here you can find our product categories, you can find data sheets, you can find drawings, catalogs, whatever might be needed for you. And most importantly, of course, you can also find contact information for everyone in the company. So whatever you might need, you can contact the right person right away. Otherwise, I'm happy to help you. That was practically it. So very briefly, just to let you know that unit pump is still alive, just now operating under OEM Klitsø. Any questions? No?
Tak.
Thank you.
Við skulum halda áfram dagskráni. Peter Mortensen ætlar að tala Save the Planet, one pump at a time. Gjör svo vel.
Hello, everybody. You had a chance to get some coffee, and hopefully you're ready to listen now. My name is Peter, and I'm representing Dansil, a company that deals with pumps, sealing solutions, repair of pumps, couplings, laser alignments, and coatings. And I'm also very happy to be here again. I've been here before to show a little presentation, and I've been around Iceland last week to visit some of you, and that was really, I think, a really good experience to see you on site and to see what most of your plants and facilities. Beautiful country. So, saving the world, the planet, one pump at a time, that's a big title. And of course, I know we cannot do that by repairing a pump. But what I would like to focus on today are some of the experience we have from the fish meal industry and proven purchase and maintenance strategies that can really make a difference, both money-wise, operational-wise, and environmental-wise. The company I represent, we, as I said, we sell equipment, but the guys that are working out in the field are all engineers, craftsmen. That means that we are capable of going out, installing pumps, seals, and be on site to help our customers. And this is the way that we like to do business, because we came from the same industry as most of you guys. Today, I think we have heard many environmentally, I'm not sure if it's wrong to say buzzwords, but we've heard a lot of words that I think we need to get used to. We all see them in marketing materials. We see them on websites, brochures, and I looked at many of your websites. You use them as well. And today we've heard many of these words as well. We see them all over. But what do they actually mean to us? Words like biodegradable, carbon footprint, greenwashing, climate changes, recyclable, ESG, CSR, sustainable. That word we've heard many times today. Integrated value chain, sustainable fishing. I think we have to get used to these words because they're going to mean a lot more than we might want them to do. I think they're all good intentions to protect our environment and our world, but I think honestly, if they really have to be effective, we have to want to change our cultures. We have to really want to carry it out in real life. So if we want to protect our environment, seen from a maintenance and equipment point of view, we have to focus on how we handle both new and existing equipment, which means when we buy new products, we have to focus on TCO, total cost of ownership, instead of just focusing on purchase price. We have to repair and we have to reuse existing equipment in a much bigger scale than we do today, instead of always throwing it out and buy new stuff. And that's a problem, because somebody here said, I'm a sales guy, I'm a little impatient, and I would like to go again, I would like to sell again, because we are obligated to sell equipment, but we also have to focus on reuse and repair. On the following pages, I would like to show some examples of what we have seen within the last 10 years are reliable products for pumps in your industries, fish meal industries, plus repaired and reused pumps. So TCO, if you look at it and look it up, you can see many variations of it, but in generally, if you see an iceberg, the top of it represents the purchase price. And if we look at all the costs that are associated with this piece of equipment in its lifetime, that is the hidden cost, the 85%. Those are the costs that we do not want. But still, they are here. So we need to, adapt to them. So one of the pumps that we've used a lot in industries like you have for viscous products, for fish oil, for blood water, for stuff like that, is a Movex pump that is an eccentric. It's actually a quite simple pump, but it's an eccentric disc pump that really does the job. It is a self-priming pump. It can run dry in ATEX applications. It can strip lines. That means that it can empty the suction pipe before we actually switch into different products. It delivers a constant flow, even if the wear parts are wearing, but as long as they're functioning, they still deliver constant flow. Compared to, for instance, internal gear pumps that loses performance over time, these keep the performance. Only 2 wear parts as the pumping devices, so it's really a simple pump. I have shown a couple of references from the fish meal industry in many different applications around in the plants. So going from smaller pumps to bigger pumps, but reliable pumps. And these are are now running in Iceland, in the Faroe Islands, and Denmark. That's the area we are servicing. Another example of an proven pump is the Blackmare System 1 pump, which is a heavy-duty centrifugal pump. It's like a small bulldog. It's a really heavy, both in weight but also in design. So if you look at it, this pump is actually designed from what a mechanical seal sees. That means it is designed with solid shafts, short overhang, low shaftness ratio, oversized bearings. It has a 5-year warranty on the power end. It has lifetime warranty on the shaft and 1-year warranty on the mechanical seal when you're using double seals, up to 1,000 cubic meters per hour. And here we have some of the case stories from the fish meal industry as well. Again, from Iceland, Faroe Islands, and Denmark. So going from seawater to processed water to all kinds of applications within the industry. Another pump is for fragile processes where you need shear-sensitive pumps. Is the Vaughan Trison pump, which is a shear-sensitive pump for transport of very delicate product, and hereby can transport whole items like fish without damaging them. This is a pump that can be used in applications where shear sensitive is important. This could be in combination with separators, where this feature is really important. This manufacturer has a slogan that says, "Do not sell a problem." And they really live by this slogan. So based on this, they offer a try and buy. It means that you can actually have the pump out in your plant running without paying until it's accepted. So we make a deal about the time that you can test it. You get the pump out, you test it, and when it's satisfied, you pay for it. No response to that? So as I said, they want to be able to give a quote for it. So what about existing equipment? Now we've seen that if you buy new equipment with the focus on TCO, the existing equipment, we need to repair that as well, both the pumps and the mechanical seals. I know that there is an issue for you guys as well, that is freight cost. And freight cost is, of course, something that is really important. But for us, we do a lot of it. It's from repairing of mechanical seals. So here's a couple of examples of pumps that we have repaired. Sometimes it's because we can make it better, and sometimes it's because of time. So in this case here, this is a power plant. They had a breakdown of a pump that needed to be up and running quickly. Delivery times for new parts is maybe 10 to 12 weeks. They could not wait for it. So this pump here we fixed within 1.5 weeks, made everything and up and running again. Another pump for the same company, we received the pump as it's shown in the top, and we returned it as it is in the right corner. This is an absorber pump for a power plant. So what we do here is that we completely refurbish it. We, in this case, we have applied coatings, arc reinforced composites to the surfaces. So we reduce the surface friction, we increase the wear resistance, and generally we reduce the energy consumed to do the same work. Here is one from the fish mill industry. In this case, the customer had they had a crack in the pump because they forgot to drain the pump on an outside installation in temperatures below zero. So at the same time they did the welding of the pump, we got the chance to repair it and return it with a very nice surface. The impeller, similar impeller, is actually in the back, so you can see the coatings and how it's applied and how it looks like. We make sure, of course, that the clearances are maintained in the pump so it has the same efficiency or even better than before. Here is another example of a pump that was used a lot in the fish mill industry. This pump was actually scrapped from the customer, and I asked for the opportunity to go and repair it. There was heavily wear in the pump casing on the outlet of the pump. We repaired everything, of course, did the preparation of the surface. We applied a wear-resistant coating on the casing and ended up doing a smooth surface, both on the casing, the outlet, and the inlet. We upgraded the mechanical seal, we coated the pump on the outside, and we sent it back to the customer. The customer's response was that he thought it was a new pump. And the price for the repair, 19% of a new pump. And that is the general picture that we see between 20 to 30% of a new pump. In this case here is a seawater pump or a seawater impeller. Desmi was the impeller. Delivery times of a new impeller, 12 to 14 weeks. We did these three impellers within 2 weeks at a price of 40% of a new impeller. So this year we did the pumps that these impellers were installed in. And again, 30 to 35% for this one. Particularly, this was heavily corroded, but up and running in a very nice condition again. Could also be pipes, tubes, anywhere where you have the need for chemical protection, for wear resistant, or maybe in someday that you are going to pay as much for the electricity as we are. You will start focusing on energy savings as well, because it costs a lot of money. So enjoy it while it lasts. And these are power plants where they cannot take it apart, so they actually they've done the coatings on the outside. That means that they know they are going to have a hole in the pipe, so they are prepared for the hole. They do the coatings on the outside then. But otherwise, we supply mechanical seals up to 1 meter in diameter in standard sizes, from very small ones, simple, to more advanced ones. We do pumps, as I mentioned, both PD pumps and centrifugal pumps, laser alignment equipment, coatings. We cut gaskets from day to day on all sizes and shapes, couplings, and industrial lubrication and maintenance products. And on the right side, we have the manufacturers of those that we are distributor for. And we've been around for 50 years this year. And here is a little view of some of the capabilities we have for repairing pumps. So big machinery for if we need to do any changes, modifications on pumps, we can do that. And on the right corner, right picture, you can see the preparation of surface finishes before we actually do the coatings. We need to be very sure that we have the right profile of the metal, and we need to be sure that it is cleaned both for what we can see and for what we cannot see. When it comes to the mechanical seals, we do the entire process from cleaning them, taking them apart, inspect them, reuse whatever we can reuse. We relap the seal faces, we box them and put them in a label on that says Certified Seal Repair Center, and we offer the same warranty as a new seal. They're tested before they leave the premises, both for vacuum or pressure. As all good products and processes, we know that training is important. That's why we offer training both internally in our company. We offer 1 or 2 times per year. We offer training in coatings. We do that with Chesterton in Poland, where people are going to do both theoretical and hands-on training. We do one training every year in Boston with Chesterton for 1 week, and we can do on-site trainings as well. But it's important that people have increased knowledge and they know about the stuff they are going to service. So we can offer these things to you: handle complete pumps for repair and refurbishment, handle parts alone, handle the repair of your mechanical seal in our Certified Seal Repair Center, and we can be your sparring partner. And this is a little about me. So 27 years in this business, and I have a background as a marine engineer, working on board ships and in many applications around here. Is there any questions? Otherwise, I'll be around. If you have any, just come by and say hello, and I'll be happy to answer it. Thank you so much, everybody.
Næst á dagskrá eru nýjungar í mælitækni frá Endres.
Já, góðan daginn. Það ekki hægt að mæta á svona fundur svona að vera með eitthvað smá. En kannski tilbreytinga að veit fyrirlestur á íslensku líka. En ég ætla aðeins bara að fjalla nýjungar í mælitækni sem að Endres og Hásir eru með. Og ég hjá Bækup, varma og vélaverk og heiti Páll Ágúst Ásgeirsson. Og Endres alltaf að prófa eitthvað nýtt og gera eitthvað nýtt, og svo eru þeir að gera svo margir aðrir, kaupa fyrirtæki sem eru búin að finna upp eitthvað nýtt. Þannig að það alltaf að fjölga möguleikunum og hlutunum sem við getum mælt. Og þið þekki nú kannski flest það flæði og þrýstinema og hæðanema og slíkt frá Endres. En ég ætla aðeins að nefna hérna 3 hluti. Kannski einn þessi fyrsti ProLine, prófil, flæðimælir fyrir vökva, gas, gufu og vatn, eða hvaða vökva sem í sjálfu sér. Og síðan 2 aðrar nemar sem hafa ekki verið prófaðir í fiskimjölsiðnaði, en ég hefði nú áhuga að verið gaman að fá liðsinni hjá einhverjum til þess að prófa þá, hvort að sem mælitækni virkar fyrir ykkur. Nú, prófil, vortexmælirinn, hann mælir rúmmálsflæði, og nú komin mælir frá þeim sem með innbyggðum hita- og þrýstimæli. Þannig að þá erum við komin með fjölþætta mælingu sem mælir þá rúmmál, hitastig og þrýstig. Jafnlegum gösum og gufu slíkum,
og þá getur hann reikna það út orkuna sem að fara í gegnum mælinn. Og hann getur líka upp í 20% rakastig. Eftir það gufan svo blauta, hún nú kannski ekki gagnlega mikið í ykkar starfsemi. Og þessi mælar eru til í stærðum frá TN25 til TN300. Nú við höfum selt svona mæla á Íslandi Ölgerðin, Egill Skallagrímsson, þeir eru með svona mæla á gufustofnunum sínum til þess að mæla gufunotkunina þeir eru með 2 hús sem þeir eru að mæla gufun inn í, átöppunina og sem eru þvottakerfi og svo hins vegar bjórframleiðsluna. En nú vita bara hvað hvort hús er að nota af gufu á hverjum tíma. Nú Hitaveita Suðurnesja hefur líka verið með svona mæla í notkun. En ekki, það enginn sem verið með svona mæli sem er með hita og þrýstinema með. Og þessi mælar geta mælt blauta, mettaða og yfirhitaða gufu. Og svo kemur spurningin, af hverju viljum við mæla rakastigið í gufunni? Og þið eruð að framleiða mettaða gufu í kotlunum hjá okkur. Þið er nokkuð með eitthvað með yfirhitanar búnað í kotlunum. En svo náttúrulega þegar við fellum þrýstingin á gufunni í lokum út í kerfinu, þá verður gufan yfirhituð smá tíma. En svo það spurning, af hverju er raki í gufunni? Af hverju viljum við vera að fylgjast með raka í gufunni? Og hann getur náttúrulega sagt okkur að ef að ketillinn er að keyra alveg á tampi, þá dregur meira hætta á að dragi vökva með sér, þá færðu vatn út í kerfið sem getur valdið ýmsum vandamálum. Og svo segir Endres líka að undanblásturinn er ekki nægur og steinirinn safnast upp í katlinum, þá fer gufan líka að draga meira vatn með sér. Þannig að þá líka getur mæling á því hversu í lögnum og við höfum alveg gegnum tíðina þurft að selja mönnum loka aftur og aftur. Frændi minn eitt þetta. Hann hefur keypt með okkur að loka, það er alltaf sami lokin sem að opnar þannig að hann fær vasshamar á hann. Það er spurning það er spurning. Hver er ástæðan? En ég held að menn sem nú fattar aftur svo því að það þarf að passa lagnirnar líka og tappa vel undan þeim og slíkt. Nú, eftir því sem meiri raki í gufunni, því minni orka í gufunni, þannig að þessir orkureikningar sem menn að gera eru kannski ekki alltaf réttir að því að með reiknandur með því að gufan er ekki lengur þessu tekniki með þessum raka sem er í því sem minnkar orkuflutningin. Nú og þessi prófirmælar geta mælt rakastigið í gufunni milli 0 og 20% og annars vegar getur við verið með bara rofa útgang sem að gefur þér merki við einhvern ákveðna prósentu á vatni í gufunni og þá færðu bara viðvörun. Nú hins vegar getur líka fengið bara 4-20 milljónir að fara útmerki sem sýnir þér þessa rakametur frá 0 upp í 20%. Það eru spurningar þetta? Svona mælir kostar frá 600.000 hvern mælipunkt og upp í vel yfir 1 milljón þurft í sverustu mælana. Við erum kannski mest með 150-200 millimetra. Er svona mælir á katlinu á þér nýja fína? Það sem keypti fyrir nokkrum árum.
Já, við erum svona til að mæla nýtinguna hér, það er ekki endur upp á hásinu.
Nei, það er nú verið allir mæliframleiðendur. Reyndar held ég að séu ekki aðrir sem eru að bjóða upp á þetta vatnshlutfall.
Og við sjáum bara nýtinguna á katlinu með því.
Já. Nú verksmiðjurnar HPP-verksmiðjurnar, þær eru náttúrulega að fylgjast með sko þéttivatninu sem að það skila frá sér. Það er ákveðin mæling líka á notkuninni. Og svo er það þetta sem mér langaði að sýna ykkur. Hvað viltu marga? Bara einn? Já. Það að kaupa þennan eða þannig sem ég var að sýna á það. Já, kaupi báða vendan. En ég fekk nefnilega fyrirspurn daginn frá dóttur eða systurfyrirtæki vinnslustöðvarinnar, sem veit eitthvað Langa, Vestmannaeyjum. Þeir eru að búa til kollagen og fiskroði væntanlega. Hann langaði að mæla þurrefnisinnihaldið eftir eimingu eða eftir sem sagt og áður að færi í frosturkun eða til frosturkun sem þeir eru með. Og veldi vita þurrefnisinnihaldið og það er einhvers staðar á bilinu 40–50%. Og hann hafði séð þetta einhvers staðar að þetta veri notað í mjólkuriðnaði og skólp, fráveituiðnaði líka og var að spáði hvort að þetta myndi virka fyrir sig. Þannig að ég fór að skoða þetta en sem sagt þessi mælir þurrefnisinnihald í vökva með því að mæla gleypni í vökvann. Byggja þá á því að vatn hefur mikla gleypni en þurrefni og oljur hafa litla gleypni, þannig að því meira hærra hlutfall sem af þurrefni því meira minnkar gleypni. Og þetta notað sem segi í mjólkuriðnaði, kvóstrykkjaðinaði til að mæla sykruinnihald og í skólpi til að mæla bara þurrefni eftir skilvindur. Þar menn að nota eins og í skólpninsastöðunni í Hveragerði. Það eru blanda pólymer í seti sem að myndast í setframfúna til þess að auðvelda að skilja svo vatn frá setinu. Til þess að hafa það þurrara, minna sem þú þarft að urða. Og pólymerin kostar hins vegar peninga, þannig að þú vilt ekki vera að láta meiri pólymer en þú þarft til þess að ná því þurrefnisinnihaldi sem þú þarft að ná. Þannig að þá koma þessi mælar inn til þess að hjálpa þær að stýra innblöndunni á pólymeringu. Það er spurning hvort að þessi tegund af mælitækni geti virkað fyrir í soðkjarnatækjum til að mæla frá þeim, sem maður geti séð hvaða þurrefnisinnihald. Nú erum við væntanlega ekki að reyna að hafa í kringum 30%. Og svo er þið með svona sykurmæla, það getur þess að lesa. Þetta er raunverulega, þessi tækni er notuð í þeim iðnaði þar sem er notað svona sykurhandmæla. En við þurfum að prófa og senda endurins sýnisótt til þess að láta á skoða. Þetta er raunverulega byggir á empirískum útreikningi á hitastigi og þessum mælingum sem þeir gera og þrýstingi. Þannig geta þeir búið til einhverja kúrfur fyrir hann að vinna eftir. Þeir þurfa að byrja á að fá sýni af því sem má að mæla til að sjá hvort það er mælanlegt og þá hann að það setja búa til þessi kúrfur sem þarf. Þannig að ég lýsi hér með eftir einhverjum til að vera með okkur í þessu. Já. Tölum við saman. Og eða sá næsti sem að ég sá nú bara á fyrirlestri hjá Endres í fyrra og er notaður í þetta sem sagt svona mælir sem að þurrefni þarf að renna yfir og byggir á radarmælingu, svona svipaði eins og þess að guided wave radar, þess að sendir radarbylgjum niður eftir stöng og kemur endurvarpast frá yfirborðinu og þetta er svipuð tækni og þarna er að mæla rakastigið í efninu sem að rennur yfir neman. Og þessi nemar eru notaðir í mjög fjölbreyttum hlutum, eins og í sem bara til að mæla rakastigið í steinsteypu. Og svo jarðefnaiðnaði og timburiðnaði og kornþurrkun. Þannig kom upp hugmyndin hvort að vera þetta nota til að mæla í fiskimjöli. En það eitt sem ég sá í þessu að leiðnin í efninu má ekki vera mjög há, 20 millisímens á sentimetr. Ég veit ekki sko fiskimjöl, það nú eitthvað salt í því. Þannig að það að berjast við að hafa það sem minnst ekki. Þannig að veit eitthvað hvað leiðin í fiskimjöli. Þannig líka þurfum við að senda út sýni og láta skoða. En þessi mæla þurfa ákveði mikla efnistíkt yfir sér til þess að, ef þetta í rennu eða eitthvað slíkt, þá þetta bara haft í botnum á rennunu, því að það efnistíktin að vera 30-60 millimetrar ofan á neman. Þetta bara raunverulega bara glerplata lítið sem að efnið rennur yfir. Og þarna eins með þetta eins og síðasta mæli að þarna þarf að prófa. Viltu þennan líka?
Það var að bakka til þú.
2 fyrir 1. Nei, síðan náttúrulega endalaus þróun í öllum þessum nemum sem við höfum verið að selja ykkur, flæðinemum og þrýstinemum og slíku. Og ég var nú einmitt að því að Pétur hérna sem var á undan mér var að tala svona endurnýtingu og viðgerðir á hlutum, lengja líftíman. Ég spurði mig til Andrés núna í sumar. Hvernig með þessi svona flæðimæla? Nú voru sumir af ykkur beðar að endurnýja flæðimæla því það fást ekki lengur varahlutir í það. En samt kannski mælur eru það alveg í lagi, en reikniverki eru alveg sko úrelt. Bilað kannski eitthvað líkt. En þá sagði við mig að það ástæðan fyrir að þeir eru ekki að bjóða upp á sko reikniverk fyrir gamla mæla er að þróunin hefur orðið svo mikið að minnka straumnotkun. Spólurnar í gömlu mælunum draga alltaf mikið straum fyrir nýju reikniverkin, en það er ekki hægt að nota því miður ekki hægt að, en þeir hafa vissulega leitt hugan að þessu, en heildaða niðurstaðan er svo að þeir eru ekki að bjóða lengur upp á varahluti í þessa elstu nema, því að tæknin hefur bara breyst svo mikið. Það var svo mikið meira. Þetta er svona mokklæra frá Andrés. Þeir segist vera sérfræðingar í öllum mögulegum iðnaði. Og alltaf til ég að reyna að hjálpa ef það er eitthvað sem þeir vilja mæla. Og svo þeir segja, hvað geta þeir gert til þess að mæla og bæta framleiðsluna hjá okkur? Spurningar? Nei, það er alveg annað mál. Hann mælir bara flæði á vökva. Já, hvað svo? Nei, það er ekki, fitan er alveg annað mál. En það má kannski spyrja því. Já. Hún er með sama gleiknistuðul eins og bara þessi þurrefni, svona fiskimjöl eða mjöl og oljur og steinefni og slíkt. Þannig að í soðgjarnanum mælist hún bara sem þurrefni. En það þarf maður sjálfsagt að prófa þetta.
Hvaða sýnir það?
Það er einhverja lítra bara fyrir og eftir einingatæki. Já, við þurfum að finna út úr eitthvað, við þurfum að senda þetta til Þýskalands. Það tekur nú ekki um 1-2 daga, sko. Ég var nefnilega að spurða það hvort að það gengi ekki, að bara fengi mig til láns til að prófa. Það er einhvern veginn, Þjóðverjar er ekki alveg þar, sko. Því miður. Heyrðu, ég þakka fyrir mig.
Við þökkum Páli fyrir. Næst ætlar Rafn að taka við stjórninni og fara smá í.
Ég ætla að hefja vegferð vestbyggðarmannanna á norðausturhorninu og sjálfu mér. Byrja þar og halda svo austur. Og ráðis taka Vestbyggðarnar og Þórshöfn, hún var með einföldum hætti þetta árið frá því hittum sem síðast. byrjum að taka við makrill í ágúst, síld í september og erum aðeins í síld ennþá. Þetta einhver 10.000 tonn afskurðið frá frystihúsinu. Þá það upptalið. Við vorum náttúrulega ekki loðnu eins og flesti vita þetta árið, ekki kolmuna heldur. Og við höfðum nægan tíma til að dunda í vespunu eða peningum. Og við nýttum tíma svolítið í það. Við endurnýjuðum blóðastælur og soðdælur sem við settum yfir innmjötunna inn á fosshaugurina. Settum 2 blóðastælur og aðrar 2 soðdælur fyrir sikkert hittastigið. Settum upp nýjan fiskmaster frá Vestfalía. Og við erum með 2 eins 7.000. Við endurnýjuðum viktarhausana á viktunum. Ég hef sagt allavega að það séu fyrstu viktareiningar frá Siemens sem löggiltar eru í Íslandi. Nýja spíral settum við í lýsistangan, höfðum hann fyrir vatn og kynntum hann með 200 kW rafmagnsstúpum. Svo við erum byrjaðir í öfugum orkuskiptum við alla hina. Bondistælunar á gufuþurrkurum með settu nýja típuðar, þrepadælu í stað fyrir 1 þrepa og þú leiðsvöld kom frá Fáskrúðsfirði í gegnum Óla náttúrulega í Héðni eins og flesta framfærir þessi miðnaði. Það var ekki meira frá mér og þá voru fyrirspurnir leyfðar. Það engin. Nei, ekki byrja ekki það. Við erum að ganga frá þessu. Við vorum búin að breyta öðrum tanka undan, svona, svo við, minni tank sem við vorum og settum 100 kW hann og reynslan af því eiginlega hvatt okkur til að fara í hinn líka. Við erum með bara vatn og frostlög saman á spírálum. En þetta þýðir að við erum að fá að vita með sæmilega góðum fyrirvari hvernig lýsingum við koma. Ef það mikið í. Og ekki verið mjög stutt. Þannig að það svona ekki mikið frá okkur frétta held ég. Björn. Næstur. Hann hefur alltaf miklu meira að segja.
Fundarstjóri, góði gestir. 23 var metár hjá okkur. 121.000 tonn. Af því rétt tæpur helmingurinn kolmunni. Loðna urðu 30.000 tonn og síðan svona makrílafskurður og bræntur makríl vegna þess að þarna var ástandið við höfum hætt að við notum meira af því í mjöl. Allt gekk þetta ágætlega. Við gerðum eiginlega sára lítið annað en að vera að vinna, og við rafvæddum. Þess að það búið rafmagn á Íslandi. Það nú komið þannig að við erum búin að vera að rafvæðast og gerðum stæðsta stökk og skref á Íslandi frá upphafi. Við erum að fara aftur til fortíðar og ég held að við þurfum að fara annaðhvort í kol eða mó næst. Það komið að því. Já, ég held það minnskosti. Eða þá sem að ég hef reynt að viðra innan okkar fyrirtækis sem að gæti verið svolítið gaman að kasta upp. Á hverju ekki bara iðnaðurinn að fara í kjarnorkuver. Á hverju ekki? Vita hvað pólitíkin ætlar að segja við því. Samkvæmt pappírunum. Hún ekkert að koma hingað til okkur. Við vorum svo sem gauðum eitthvað bara svona hingað og þangað. Það eru ekkert stórkostlegar framkvæmdir hjá okkur, annað en láta loga á þessu. Og svo náttúrulega Caterpillar ljósavélar. Það nú eitthvað. Ég held að ég hafi nú ekki meira. Hvað segirðu? Í ljósavélunum. Það eru 1200 kilowatt hvor. Og vélstjórar vita það að það er bara 1/3 sem nýtist af því. Hvort það sé ekki hagkvæmt fyrir þjóðarbúið. En þetta kom nú til þannig að það var náttúrulega bara tekið af okkur rafmagnið og við urðum annarkvort að ákveða það að fara þessa leið eða að fara niður afköst upp á 300-400 tonn. Og við vorum að fara inn í loðnuvertíð, væntanlega, sem var svo ekki. Þetta eitt af því sem vantar upp á. Það upplýsingaflæðið og vita hver framtíðin er. Það er ganga ágætlega. Og nota olíu. Við erum jafnframt að uppgreita allt olíukerfið hjá okkur. Keyptum okkur nýjan ketil. Og fara og endurnýja alla olíu uppsetningun á loftvirkjunum. Til þess að stýra því betur og reyna að spara. Við erum komin þangað aftur. Ættum að hugsa þetta í 10 ár, 14 ár. Ég allavega. En kjarnorkuver. Vindorka sem ekki heppilega kjarnorkuver. Sko, ef hún bara ekki hjá okkur. Það ekki.
Það er aldrei að svöra hjá þessum. Það var ekkert. Næstur.
Fundarstjóraðar í fundarmenn. Síðasta ár var svo sem ágætt á Seyðisfirði. Það tókum við á móti 89.000 tonnum. Framleiddum einhver 17.500 tonna mjöli og tæp 3.000 tonna lýsi. Þetta ár hefur heldur verið rólegra. En það eru þó komin tæp 52.000 tonn. Hún er að framleiða einhver 11.000 tonna mjöli og það er nú ekki nema einhver 500 tonna lýsi. Mest er þetta, það er bara kolmun í ár sem hefur komið. Í fyrra voru 36.000 tonna loðnu af þessum 89.000 tonnum tæpum. Við hefum svo sem lítið verið að framkvæma, verið að skipta tankatoppa og svona almennt viðhald bara til þess að verksmiðjan sé svona haldi í horfinu og bara verið frekar rólegt í því. Ekkert nýtt. Það er kannski þekktur að nota, fyrir það að nota gamalt dót og láta það snúast.
Ertu þá að keyra á olíu eða meira og minna?
Það er bara olía, við fáum ekki rafmagn. En ég væri alveg til í að skoða kjarnorkuver, sko. Og nýta vindorkuna ef það er hjá þér.
Já.
Millurnar, sko.
Það er best fyrirkomið þar.
Já, ég held það. Nó pláss hjá þér.
Nó pláss.
Og þá fengir þú kannski eitthvað annað en þessa framlengingarsnúru sem þú ert með.
Já.
Til að flytja rafmagnið.
Nó pláss og lítið af fólki, það er kjör aðstæðu fyrir vindur.
Þá er að kvarta.
Já. Takk fyrir. Takk. Þá kemur Hafþór. Hann átti að gefa okkur mjög ítarlega skýrslu og lofaði því fyrir þessu leysimuna. Bæði á tækjum og virkni á verksmiðjunni.
Þú ennum átt minna með þetta fyrr, sko. Ég var búinn að gleyma það svona. Komið sæl. 23. Það var stórt ár, eins og hjá flestum. Við tókum á móti
Hvað var ég með? 170 yngri nú. 172 tón voru það, já. Það rétt sem þeirra gert. Það voru 53.000 tonn á loðnu inn í því. Þannig að þetta var risa ár og nýjalla framkvæmdina sem voru með. Á þessu ári erum við konum með 88.000 tonn, síðustu mánaðamót, þannig eitthvað komið inn síðan. Þetta rúlar bara fínt hjá okkur. Náttúrulega búið að vera mjög strembinn tími með allt hálfsundur skrúað og vera að starta nýjum búnaði mjög reglulega. Við mikið tilbúnum þegar það settur í gang. Og eins og maður svo sem búin að segja, það er eitt að setja þetta í gang og svo eru næstu mánuðir að klára að skrúa og laga aðgengi og allt þetta sem fylgir. Við erum svolítið þar núna. Hún er að vinna okkur út úr nýja húsinu, myndi ég segja, mestu leyti. Þannig að HPP-verksmiðjan er tilbúin. Það er ekki starfhæf, alveg, tilbúin. Komum að því seinna bara. Bjórnum í kvöld. En það hefur sem gengið samt mjög vel. Við keyrðum litlu verksmiðjan núna í sumar. Júlí var svolítið brás á okkur. Ágúst var betri. Keyrði frábærlega í september. Stoppaði hönnulína hjá okkur núna. Stóra verksmiðjan er langt komin. Þar erum við núna að taka í gagnið 2 nýja sjóðara. Það var í janúar. Svo komu forsjóðarnir inn í febrúar. Glatramátækin þar á eftir. Og nýja mjölskylundan. 8.000 ein. Og síðustu helgi störstuðum við 3 nýjum skilveitum. Það heldur við svona að vera komið í þessum tækjum og tólum sem búið að verða. Heldur til. Við uppfærðum stjórnskápana fyrir olíukallana. Gerum ekkert meira í því en uppfærðum þá. Vorum svona við að ljúka því þegar rafmagnið að tekja ákvæðin í desember í fyrra. Endurnýjum 2 tankatoppa á lýsistöngum, hækkum þá í leiðinni með einhverja 2 metra. Reifum eitt hús, byggðum upp aftur. Þetta er svona búið að vera dálítið mikið að vera, en þetta er að róast. Þú vonandi bara að fá núna svona til friðið að keyra annan búnað og læra á þessar breytingar sem við höfum verið að standa í. Við erum nokkuð brattir. Næsta ári kemur við með slæðsjóðið. En þið búin að keyra tilnáðurkan? Já, nýðurkarinn, hann fékk 2 mjög stuttar kolmurakistur í byrjun maí. Og fyrri var ekkert sérstök. Ekkert að gerast. Það var nokkuð komuvilla í þrýstimæli og gufu. Þannig að nertakista var mjög flott. Við höfum ekki keyrt hann aftur síðan. Við höfum verið að lagfæra bara og klára að tengja þjöpptækin inn á hann. Og er að vera klár þar. Og laga bara aðgengi og fleira, þetta sé notægt. Þannig ég reikna með að keyrum það að við fáum kolmuna. Hvort sem það verður núna í þessum mánuði eða þá í nóvember, desember, þá munum við keyra hann. Það er pínspennandi.
Lýst þér á hann?
Já, ég held að það geta alveg virkað. Við gerum ráð fyrir að sitja inn, þá verður konum við 2 forþurrkara og svo þá 2 gömlu hetlandþurrkarana.
Og aftur við?
Já, en við gerum í rauninni ráð fyrir, upphaflega hönnun gerir ráð fyrir að við myndum sitja inn, næstu vera með 3 forþurrkara. Já. Það er eigum pláss fyrir það.
Eimingatækin og sjóðar eru hannaður út frá því.
Já.
Það verður spennandi að fylgjast með þessum þurrkara, hvernig
allra fungera.
Það er kannski meira að segja á næst.
Já,
Ekki nú.
það er full og voru búin að þetta reyðslu næst. Eru fleiri spurningar á hann?
Og félagar og aðri gestir. Ég ætla nú að halda hérna langa ræðu því að þess með þetta ráð svo fáar við verðum að segja tíman eða ekki. En það var nú bara þannig í fyrra þá tókum við 111.000 tonn og fengum 35.000 tonn rúm að loðnu og 62 kolmuna rúm. Svo var þetta svona bara frákast frá frystihúsinu. Þannig að þetta endaði í, eins og ég segi, 111.000 tonn. Á þessu ári erum við búin að taka á móti 80.000 tonnum. En ég vona að við eigum eftir að fá viðskosti 20.000 tonna kolmun í viðbót fyrir áramót. Þannig við verðum eitthvað í kringum 100.000 tonn á þessu ári ef allt gengur upp. En við gerðum bara með hinna nokkuð góða loðnuverk. Við fengum 1120 tonna loðnu. Það gerðum sér komast þangað. En 400 tonna síld og 2600 tonna makríl. En við erum konum í 72.700 af kolmuna núna. En við höfum verið í ansi miklum framkvæmdum. Búin ekki vera það undanfæri ár. Við vorum að setja upp svona nýja svona fiskmaster, svona litla, sagði Hefþór það ekki, 7.000. Við kláruðum loksins að tengja skilvindu SA100 sem við höfum átt í nokkur ár upp í hillu, þannig að við tókum hana niður og hún er komin í gagnið og hefur virkað mjög vel. Við kláruðum að tengja olíuketilinn okkar, við keyptum alltaf danstóker ketil, 16 tonna ketil og hann er, já, til dæmis, brennarinn er 11 megavött fyrir gefið, þannig að þetta er hörku gott og flott tæki og hefur bara svínvirkað. Síðan settum við í suma nýtt þrep, keyptum það við soggendutækin og sjálfsögðu stækkum við það aðeins eins og vera ber. Við keyptum allar dælurnar nýjar, hringrásardælurnar þar við, en við erum ekki búin að setja þær upp að þá. Við ætluðum að klára þetta núna á milli síldar og kolmunavertíð en það er bjart fyrir okkur því að það fraus saman síldar og kolmunavertíð því að okkur tókst ekki að klára síldina eða síldavertíðina þegar var komin kolmun. Við fengum þannig góðan færing sem að færði okkur 3.500 tonn. En við erum búin að skipta flest allar dælur við mörskilundur og sjálfsögðu stækkaðar. En ég gleymdi einu, já. Sveinbjörn, hann er að æfa sig fyrir, hann er komin í framboð fyrir miðflokkin, bara svo við vitið að þeim. Hann sagði mér þetta áðan í trúnaði. En núna erum við að brasa við akkurat þessa dag að skiptum háspennur og við rafmagnsketilinn og allan stjórnbúnað. En ég svo sem veit ekki af hverju við erum að þessu. Við vorum svo bjartsýnir í vor að við héldum að væri til nóga rafmagni en við vitum núna að það var aldrei að trúa pólitíkinni eða Landsvirkjun. Það borgar sig ekki. Síðan hafa rafvirkjar og smiðir verið að laga hitt og þetta. Þeir hafa bara eiginlega haft ekki, iðnaðarmennirnir hafa ekki við því að það er svo mikið framkvæmdagleði hjá stjórn Eskju. Það er alltaf nýtt og nýtt. En við erum að endurbyggja þéttuvatnslagnir, koma í nútíman. Við erum svona að fara að klára sitt kerfi vantarlega. En þegar það er búið, þá það er fullt af svona önna og snorralokum. Ég veit ekki hvort þið þekki það. Það er svona handlokar einhver lengst upp í lofti sem einhver einn og einn kall þekkir á. Og svo verða þeir gamlir eins og ég og það veit enginn til hvers þeir eru. Þannig að við ætlum að reyna að koma þessi í horfi. Já. En svo ætlum við að fara að huga því að fóðra þurrkarana eina. Við erum búin með svona tæplega hálfan annan, en meiningin að fara að huga því að hjóli báða. En ég er örugglega að gleyma einhverju, en við erum svona, já, alltaf að framkvæma eitthvað og gera eitthvað. Og venjulega er þetta þannig að okkur tekst að klára svona 80% þegar við byrjum á okkur nýjum. Það er eins og Jarþór. Það er bara svoleiðis. Ég þakka ykkur fyrir.
Það orku situr á nýjaðröfið.
Þetta bara samskonar, þetta bara hérna HRF, eða semst, nei, þetta bara...
Já, rafmagn.
Rafmagn, bara blóðbara.
Já, bara vistur.
Já, bara vistur. Þetta bara gamla þrepið.
Þú það einhvern þú á rafmagn.
Við erum búin að vera rafmagn í allt sumar, það ekkert mál að vera rafmagn.
Bara kaupa það?
Þú bara borgar svolítið mikið fyrir það.
Já.
En við höfum notað rafmagn og þurrkaran í sumar. Við vinnum bara, þegar frystihús í gangi, bara frá 8 á mándana til 8 á kvöldin. Og þá höfum við keypt rafmagn, af því að það svo, bara dýrt og vont að vera að æsa upp öll eldhólf og...
Þannig ekki rafmagn ódýrar á nóttunni?
Jú, það líka dýrar að hafa kallan á nóttunni.
Þeir svo fáir, sko.
Já, þeir eru fáir, en þeir eru dýrir á Eskifirði. Það ekki, við segjum það. En við höfum satt verið að nota þetta og verið á þessum skrýtna markaði þannig.
Á rafmagnsmarkaðnum?
Já. Sem ég skil ekki í.
Nei, við höfum að vita meir hann á morgun.
Já, takk.
Þá Maggi.